Hello, everyone. I'm Raíssa, and I'm bringing you now a new podcast of the blog Softball Now. This Saturday morning, the temperature in Natal is 30 degrees Celsius, and it really feels like 30 degrees Celsius. We have winds at 43 kilometers per hour, so it's pleasant. It's a pleasant day. It's a joyful morning. It's sunny. It's time to go to the beach and relax this Saturday. And also here in Brazil, it's the Teachers' Day. I know that in the world we have a World Teachers' Day according to the United Nations, that is October 5th. In the USA, as I've been searching about it, it is the Tuesday of the first full week of May. That's the National Teacher Day in the USA. It's time that people should show some appreciation for their teachers. And it's, it's a special time so we can think a little bit more, reflect a little bit more about this job and about how the society deals with this important job through the years, has been dealing with it through the years. And I have to say that I decided to become a teacher a long time ago. It's been 19 years now that I am a teacher. It's a long road. I still have some more years to go on this. I'm also a lawyer, and it's funny because I have some students who also they always ask me this question: oh, you're a lawyer, so why do you teach? Don't you like your job? Or it's almost like, don't you get enough money as a lawyer, so you don't want to be a teacher anymore? It's funny to get these questions, but it just reflects the position of society about teachers, because usually teachers are not appreciated. It's not a job that has the value it should have, because it is the basis of all society. You know, if you want to be a lawyer, you gotta get through a teacher. If you want to be a doctor, you gotta get through a teacher. If you want to be a politician, if you want to be an engineer, if you want to be whatever you want to be, if you want to communicate, you gotta have a teacher if you want to communicate well. So all the jobs, they come from one special job, that is the teacher. So maybe we don't think about this as we should, and we only remember this when we have this special date. So as I was telling you, I decided to become a teacher 19 years ago. To be honest, I was not thinking about being a teacher back then. I was about to finish my English course, but my grandfather, who was a very wise man, was always talking to me about becoming a teacher, because according to his lessons, he was not a teacher, okay? But according to his lessons to me, as a teacher, I could learn a lot more. And at the beginning of these lessons that he taught me, I didn't think quite like this, because, I was a teenager. I was 16 to 17 when I decided to follow his advice. And I didn't have this idea that teaching was a feedback process. I had this image that teachers, they knew everything. They were like encyclopedias. They were like dictionaries, depending on the area. So they had to know everything. And how I could learn more as a teacher, I didn't get this idea. But the first moment that I became a teacher, I then realized that my grandfather was true. He was right. And because for all these 19 years, I've been learning a lot. Not only teaching, but learning a lot. Every day that I have a class, it's not every day, but every day that I have a class, I get to be presented to a new question, a new kind of issue of English, And then I have to think a lot about that. Even when I became a law teacher, or as we say, a law professor, I was not a permanent teacher at the Federal University here in Natal, but I became one, and for 2 years I was there teaching. Even there, I got to learn a lot of things because, this process of teaching, it's really a feedback process. You get a lot from it, and it was a very good experience for me back then, and it's been a very good, a marvelous experience teaching English through all these years. And I thank God every day that I took my grandfather's advice and became a teacher. And it's been very hard to deal with these two jobs at the same time. Sometimes I think that I've reached a point that I have to give up one of them. And then I say, no, I love English, I love teaching, I gotta go with it. So I decide to change my schedule or something. And so through all these 19 years, I have changed a lot of my schedules. And I can tell you that it's been a marvelous experience. So it's really part of me. And I guarantee that it's a very, very, very good, very pleasant, very appreciated experience. So I'm talking about this, how I became a teacher, because as an English teacher, we have to have some oral tests. We have to prepare oral tests for the students. And I always like to have my students to tell their opinion about something. Of course, I don't expect a right answer. There's no right answer when you give your opinion. There's only an opinion that is based on something or on nothing. But I just want to make them speak about something. So last Saturday, my class had an oral test, and one of the questions was just like this: what is the most interesting job, in your opinion? And to be honest, I was expecting people to say that being an actor would be very interesting, or because of all this atmosphere that we have surrounding celebrities, or being a politician. Maybe I know that in Brazil politicians don't have all this prestige anymore, but some people they dream about this, about changing their countries through politics and etc. So I was expecting some kind of this kind of answers. I was expecting someone to say that being an athlete would be very interesting, or a firefighter, or an army soldier. I don't know, anything. But one of the answers really got me as a surprise, and I was very happy to hear that. One of my students said that the most interesting job was the one that she was preparing to get that job. She is now in the university. She's studying. She's a pedagogy major, and she said that being a teacher would be the most interesting job for her, because it's the teacher that opens up your mind. It's the teacher that gives you a new way to go as a job in your life, etc. So I was so happy to hear that, and so surprised, because nowadays, what we experience in society, of course, I can tell a little bit more about Brazil's reality, but I'm quite sure that the United States, for example, experiences this reality too. Is that teacher, when you say, I want to be a teacher, your parents say, are you crazy? You want to get a job that you will get no money, that people disrespect, and that's the reality nowadays. That, unfortunately, that is the reality. Because, for example, when my grandparents, they were children at school, they used to get apples to the teachers, they used to have a lot of respect to their teachers. Teachers were like gods to them. And when I was a student, this reality changed a little bit, but I can remember very well that every Teachers Day, I was really worried about getting a little gift to all my teachers. Didn't matter if I liked the teacher or not, because of course, in all areas in our life, there are people that we like and people that we don't like very much. But I respected all of my teachers, and I was really worried about getting them a nice gift to represent the respect that I had for them, and how grateful I was for having them teaching me to be a better person, to have some knowledge, to get a good job in the future. So I was always worried about getting these little gifts. And even when I became an adult and I had, let's say, physical education teachers at the gym, I was always worried about getting them something nice. Not something expensive, because that's not the idea, but just to represent the gratitude that I had for their jobs, for what they were doing for me. And that's not what I see nowadays. As I told you, it's been 19 years that I've been doing this. And every Teacher's Day, what I see when I get to my co-workers, every Teacher's Day that we get together, I see that it's one or two that get a present, it's one or two that get a card, it's one or two that gets a thank you from my student, because nowadays, we don't think of teachers as people that we should have respect or show some gratitude. And this is really sad, in my opinion, because teachers are really important. And maybe this is just the reflection of what we have in Brazil right now. We have lots of corruption, and people just think about politicians as criminals. And I don't know, sometimes I get the idea that if you're not there in the government stealing something, that's why you are criticizing, because you want to be there just getting this money too. So it's hard. When I see this, I think that maybe if we appreciated a little more our teachers, then we could have a better society. People would appreciate hard work, not only money, and should appreciate knowledge. That's the important thing, knowledge. But I saw some sentences about this day, and of course we have a lot of pictures through internet, all around the internet, with these sayings about teachers. But I got one that was very good, and I think that represents what we have in Brazil right now. Someone said that this person was wishing all the teachers to get a salary of a deputy and the prestige of a soccer player. So if we had that, it would be perfect. But if I could take only one of this, the prestige would be very good, because we need a little bit more respect to our teachers. And I think from that, we can have a new society. So that's it, guys. That was the important thing that I had to share here with you. And I also invite you to be here at 10 o'clock tomorrow, so we can talk about soccer. If you want to follow this talk only about in English, you can get back here on Saturday at 11:30. And if you like the Portuguese talks, I recommend on Friday at 7 p.m. we have this talk about light subjects, about a lot of things. Just like this English talk, but in Portuguese, okay? So that's it. I hope that you have a nice Saturday. If you are in Natal, you're gonna have a nice Saturday. The weather is very good. And see you tomorrow. See you there. Bye-bye.